Hey everybody, it's the Last Raider. We are back. Probably not something as crazy as the last couple videos, something a little more, tame. Just something I was wanting to talk about, and that is or at least an argument, reasoning or argument of having competent or at least lethal looking villains. And then for what we're going to do, we're going to take a good look right here because this is a total concept of, if you know anything about CD Projekt Red, their development staff, they do not care what other people think. They make something based on what they want it to be. They usually do by rule of cool, what they think would look good or at least, decent. On the right here, you also have Netflix, which is also, and these are supposed to be the same characters in a book series. So think about that one for a moment. The book series is The Witcher. Really good series. Started reading the first book, and I have just not had time to get to the book again. It's good, but I just haven't had a chance to really get to it. But what we're going to do is we're going to sit here and look at this. I believe these are called the Nilfgaardians, or Nilfgaard, and they're basically foot soldiers. This one, I hope, is a foot soldier. I'm not sure. But we see here the difference in, someone who knows how to make a good villain and someone who does things based on politics, and why it just, when you're doing things, especially with the SJWs, you'll find that they will take even competent villains that are really good and make them just pansies. They're just going to go down like you blow them over and you blow on them and they'll just fall over. I mean, it's kind of like, what was the movie? Hot Shots Part 2, where Charlie Sheen's character Topper is shooting bad guys. He's shooting everybody in sight, and his machine gun runs out of ammunition. He turns around, looks, all these guys are coming at him. He grabs a handful of shell casings, turns around and throws it at them, and then they all just kind of keel over and die. Yeah, that's how SJWs kind of view villain. There's some sort of mental component with them. They just cannot fathom the concept, or they have this fear. I kind of look at it as a fear. If you look at SJWs, everything is about, oh my God, this is gonna destroy kids. Showing boobs is gonna destroy kids. Showing ass is gonna destroy kids. Making hot chicks is gonna destroy kids. Having really, really dangerous villains is gonna scar them for life. So if you look at this here, we have CD Projekt Red's version of the Nilfgaardian in the video game. And they have, you look here, he's got a two-handed, actually that would be a greatsword, which is a pretty dangerous implement considering your character only has a longsword. Visor section there, very difficult to get to this guy. Neck is well protected. Articulating plate, which is some of the best armor money can buy. Mind you, this also shows the ability of the Nilfgaardian, or the Nilfgaards as a military force, because if you can outfit most of your military force with articulating plate, you have a pretty dang wealthy military. You're chucking some money at them, because articulating plate had to be made custom to order, and you also see his articulating gauntlets. Shoulder pads are multiple pieces of plate, so trying to get to the soft, squishy human bits underneath the armor is going to be really difficult. Whereas, taking into consideration Netflix's version, which is just a very basic bucket helmet. The face is completely exposed. The neck looks like it's exposed. The upper arms are exposed. The armor is something weird. I don't know what this is supposed to be. It looks cheap and mass-produced is what it looks like, because it doesn't fit very well, you can tell. And this is kind of what SJWs do when they deal with villains. And I would say if you're going to write a villain, you need to write them away from this. You need to do what CD Projekt Red did. Don't do what Netflix did. Because this turns them into villain of the week. Okay, they're just cannon fodder is what they're supposed to be. And that's probably what they're going to be when they end up in the Witcher series. You can see right here, the armor, as I said, is mass-produced. There is no articulating plate, I believe. I think I've got another picture here. Yeah, there's no articulation to the armor at all. You see right here on this guy, I think he's going to be like a commander or something. You can see his breastplate doesn't quite fit. His neck protection is very, very minimal. His sword also is just retarded. I mean, dear God. It looks like something. Honestly, this character looks like he was designed for something of Netflix back in or not Netflix. He looks like he was designed as one of the most basic cannon fodder villains for a sci-fi fantasy back in 1995, and that's horrible. Like I said, you got the elbows exposed. You got these massive openings right here. They're just exposed, showing this is a mass production piece of material or armor. Compared to this guy, if I can zoom in on him. Nope, okay. Compared to the guy on the left here, who has articulating plate. I mean, even the shoulder pads have a high collar for deflecting sword blows. This guy has obviously been very well researched. In what they went for, an intimidating, imposing soldier. And that was for an army that is, about to sweep across the land and just basically take over. Their intention is to spread like a religion of some type or something called the Eternal Fire. I don't know much about The Witcher. I should know more than I do. I should have finished reading the books. But anyway, you have this guy here who is well researched. He's got articulating armor. They're supposed to be really wealthy, aristocratic people with a very powerful army. This guy looks, if he's a subject of what their army, Nilfgaardian's army is, he's quite impressive. Versus the villain of the week over here on the right, who looks dopey, dumb, not well thought out. There's rumor on the internet that these guys are supposed to look like dickheads. And their armor is scrotum armor, it's just wrinkly ball armor. And their heads and necks are supposed to be the scrotum, and then their helmet's supposed to be the tip. You can kind of almost see that, honestly. But it doesn't make the villain very intimidating. You have a villain that's just, not very impressive. They're probably the most threat they're going to have is, they're going to capture us for some reason or other, but, they're like a complete pushover most of the time. Compared to the other guy, which looks like he could be a real threat, even to Geralt. I mean, Geralt would have a difficult time probably fighting this guy from things that I've heard. One, his longsword his great sword there has a greater reach. He's got way more armor protection than the Witcher ever thought about having. And trying to get to this dude, he's got his helmet's very good protection. It comes down over the top. All right, you sit there and we hear about this all the time. It's kind of one of those things that I kind of put towards hypocrisy right now. Because I did a recent video, just the last video I did, where SJWs were on Reddit complaining about a guy's assassin drawing of a character when he was doing world building stuff, I believe for a comic book. And they were complaining because they said, the character looks sexualized. And I'm like, well, they're going for cool factor there. CD Projekt Red's villain goes for the cool factor. Netflix goes for, look, this is a dopey. They're trying too hard to be bad guy and make him look dopey and dumb because they're afraid of an actual competent villain. And you'll see this with a lot of SJWs. Go into a lot of Marvel comics. They go in, they face the villain of the week. The woman beats his ass like he's nothing. Okay, she just puts him down like he doesn't exist. It's like, okay, Rey is a prime example of this. First fight with Kylo Ren, beats his ass and she walks away. Second fight with Kylo Ren, she beats his ass and walks away. Apparently, in the new movie, she's going to beat his ass, throw him off of a ship, and walk away from him. Because nothing shows how insignificant, and this is another thing that SJWs don't understand. They take a concept and they try to produce false honor. Rey won't kill him because, she's not that kind of person. No, not killing an enemy shows a disdainful level of disrespect, okay? Because you're basically telling this person, you're not even worth killing, okay? And that's what these stupid Netflix Nilfgaardians are going to be. My suggestion is try to make competent villains. If there's something about a villain scares the hell out of you, it would be a good idea to put it in there. If a villain doing something sounds really, really awesome, or sounds like you would be making a very dangerous villain, try to go that route, okay? Try to figure out how you could really screw over your hero. Take criticism and implement that into a villain. Don't go overboard, okay? Give your heroes an out, but don't make it too obvious. It sounds kind of bad, but it's more of a balancing act. But what I would say is don't go overblown with the villain unless that is your intent, with him having everything under control. And also, don't go so far as to make the villain so incompetent that any average Joe Schmo with a beer gut could beat him in a fight. Okay? Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Hit that bell for notification. Helps this channel out a lot. Beats me up in the... It's basically the cheapest thing you can do for a channel, you know, like and comment with the channel. Be sure to like and comment. I'm repeating myself now. Keep your head on a swivel, stay frosty, and I'm the Last Raider. I will see you guys Monday in the next video.